Here we observe the social play, a complex dance of proximity and distance.
Do you ever feel not an obvious sadness or an explosive anger, but a subtle fatigue, a weariness that seeps deep into the marrow of your soul? You're sitting in a room, maybe it's a work meeting, a family party, or just a noisy cafe. You hear the words, you see the smiles, you observe the gestures, but there's a part of you, a very real, very still part, watching it all from a great distance. You see the play unfolding. You see the roles being perfectly adhered to. The lines about careers, about money, about political concerns, about vacation plans, all exchanged flawlessly. You see the immense effort and almost imperceptible tension that everyone is pouring into maintaining a collective dream, a dream that you somehow seem to have woken up from. And as you sit there smiling and nodding at the right moments, that fatigue hits you. It is the exhaustion of pretending you are still asleep. If this sounds familiar, if you feel the weight of that silence amidst the noise, then take a deep breath. What you are experiencing is not a malfunction. It is not a flaw in your soul. You are not depressed in the clinical sense, though it might feel similar. You are not arrogant or aloof, though others, those still immersed in the play, might interpret it that way. No. What you are experiencing is a sign of clarity. It is the price of seeing. When the veil of social consensus is pulled back, you cannot unsee. When you have recognized the nature of the game, you cannot play it with the same unconscious enthusiasm as before. You have tasted truth, if only for a glimpse, and now the taste of pretense becomes bland, even repulsive. This awakening, this understanding, is the very source of your loneliness and exhaustion. And today we will delve into why, and more importantly, how to carry this awareness without being crushed by it. A large part of your fatigue comes from a very simple place. It is the conflict between your consciousness and the collective unconscious. Imagine society as a vast, intricate dance. Everyone has learned the steps since birth. They know when to spin, when to bow, when to clap. The dance has its rules. Be successful, look happy, consume, fit in, don't ask too many deep questions. And then there's you. You've stopped standing still in the middle of the dance floor. You are no longer dancing. Instead, you are watching. You see the pointlessness of certain steps. You see the fear driving the person next to you to dance faster. You see the pain behind the smile of the person opposite you. You see that the music, in fact, is just a boring, repetitive loop. The first problem is this: not participating in the collective dance consumes enormous energy. Those who are fast asleep, those sleepwalking through the play, they don't feel tired in the way you do. They are energized by the illusion itself. The approval of the crowd is their fuel. Achieving the next goal, the car, the house, the promotion, is their motivation. They are in a state of hypnosis, and that state is self-sustaining. But you, the awakened one, are operating on a different fuel truth. And when your truth collides with their illusion, friction occurs. Think about everyday small talk. For most people, it's a social lubricant. But for you, it feels like a subtle torture. When someone talks enthusiastically about a promotion, an expensive item they just bought, or complains about the weather, you smile and nod. But inside, you don't just hear the words. You hear what's times behind times the words. You hear a soul trying to fill an invisible void with tangible objects. You hear a person trying to define their worth by what they own, not by who they are. You hear the quiet anxiety that if they don't talk about these things, they will have nothing to say at all. You don't judge them. This is the crucial point. This isn't arrogance. On the contrary, it's overwhelming empathy. You feel their pain, their emptiness, and it is that empathy that exhausts you. You are tired from carrying the awareness of others' insecurities while they remain completely unaware of it. Your exhaustion also comes from having to wear a mask. You have become a master actor, not playing a role in society's play, but playing the role of a normal person. You have to dim the brightness of your consciousness. You have to blur your own perception so as not to frighten others. When a colleague complains about a trivial office issue with the gravity of an apocalypse, You can't say, is this really important in the grand scheme of the universe? Do you realize we are spending our precious life energy on a meaningless distraction? No, you can't say that. Instead, you say, oh, that's terrible. Have you tried talking to HR? This constant shifting between two realities, the profound reality you perceive and the surface reality everyone else is operating on, is like trying to speak two languages at once. It drains your mental processor. Society's play demands unconscious participation, but you can only offer conscious participation. And that is the difference between floating with the current and having to swim upstream while pretending to float. Next, let's talk about loneliness. The loneliness of the awakened person is one of the deepest kinds. It is not the loneliness of having no one around. You may have family, friends, colleagues. You can be in the middle of a crowd, but it is the loneliness of frequency. Imagine you are a radio tuned to a very specific frequency, one that broadcasts deep silence, subtle meaning, and cosmic truths. But the world around you is broadcasting on a completely different frequency, loud, chaotic, full of sensational news, jarring advertisements, and superficial pop music. You are sending out your signal, but no one seems to be on your channel, and their music gives you a headache. You crave a deep connection. You crave a conversation where you don't have to translate your thoughts. A conversation where you can talk about the nature of reality, the fear of death, the unparalleled beauty of a falling leaf, the strangeness of consciousness. And the other person won't think you're weird or too serious. But what you get are transactions, not connection. People in the social play often connect based on shared illusions. They connect because they both hate the same political party. They connect because they root for the same sports team. They connect because they work in the same industry or own the same kind of car. These are connections based on identity. But you have begun to transcend your identity. You realize you are not your job, not your political beliefs, not your sports team. You are the consciousness times, observing times, all of those things. And when you no longer cling to those surface identities, you suddenly lose the common ground for connecting with most people. Loneliness arises when you try to share your truth and receive a blank stare in return. You say, I feel like we're living in a system designed to keep us distracted from what's truly important. And they reply, yeah, the price of gas is insane, isn't it? They don't hear you. They can't. They are listening through the filter of their personal survival of social consensus. You are talking about the cage. They are talking about the color of the carpet in the cage. And so you learn silence. You retreat into your inner garden because it's the only place you feel safe and understood. This silence at first is a protection. But over the years it can calcify, becoming a wall that separates you from the world. You become an oasis of sanity in a desert of unconsciousness, and an oasis by its very nature is a lonely place. Another aspect, and perhaps the heaviest, is the weight of seeing. When you are awake, you don't just see the beauty, you see times everything asterisk. You see the machinery of the world. You see the hidden motives behind the public actions. You watch a politician giving an impassioned speech and you don't hear his promises. You see the thirst for power and the fear of being forgotten. You see an advertisement for a luxury product and you don't see beauty. You see a cunningly designed machine to exploit human insecurity. You see how we treat the planet, and you don't just see an environmental problem, you feel the Earth's pain, as if it were your own bodies. You see the fear behind the aggression. You see the insecurity behind the bragging. You see the desperate loneliness behind the obsessive clinging to relationships. Carrying this awareness is like carrying an invisible weight that no one else can see. Others are walking around lightly because they don't see the burden. They are only worried about their bills, about dinner, about the movie tonight. And you carry their burdens too. You carry the sorrow of the world, what the Germans call Weltschmerz, world weariness. Your exhaustion, therefore, is not just your own. It is the collective exhaustion that you have allowed yourself to consciously feel. While others are using busyness, consumption, and distraction as an anesthetic, you are choosing to be fully awake. and being awake in a chaotic hospital is an incredibly tiring experience. But there is one final metaphor, and this is the most important one, the one that brings hope. What is your fatigue and loneliness a symptom of? It is the symptom of transformation. You are not collapsing. You are dissolving to restructure. You are a caterpillar in the process of becoming a chrysalis. Think about this. A caterpillar, when it builds its cocoon, it doesn't go to parties. It doesn't socialize. It doesn't try to explain to other caterpillars that it's about to grow wings. It knows they won't understand. They would say, "What are wings? Why would you want to fly when crawling is so efficient? You're so weird." So the caterpillar withdraws. It goes into the dark. It goes into solitude. And inside that cocoon, something terrifying and magical happens. It dissolves. Its entire caterpillar body turns into a chaotic soup. It must completely surrender its old self, the crawling self, the leaf-eating self, so that the imaginal cells can begin to build a new and completely different creature. Your fatigue, your exhaustion, your loneliness, your feeling of falling apart, that times is times the cocoon. Society, the caterpillar world, wants you to keep crawling. It wants you to eat leaves. It wants you to follow the caterpillar rules. But your soul knows it was born to fly. Your exhaustion is an intelligent signal from your body and mind telling you, stop. Don't waste any more energy on the old world. Stop trying to explain yourself to the caterpillars. Use that energy to build your wings. You are lonely because the cocoon, by definition, is a place for one. The deepest transformation is always a solo journey. So the question is not, how do I stop being tired and lonely? The real question is, how do I honor this cocoon? How do I use this solitude as a sanctuary to complete my transformation? And this brings us to the solution. The solution is not what you think. The solution is not to try and fix the world. It's not to run around shouting at everyone that they are asleep. That, as you've learned, only frightens them, makes them more defensive, and leaves you more depleted. The solution, paradoxically, lies in accepting your truth and learning to protect your consciousness wisely. First and foremost, practice the art of disappearance. This doesn't mean you hide in a cave. It means you learn to disappear even while in the middle of a crowd. It means you relinquish the need to be understood. You relinquish the need to prove you are right. You relinquish the need to save people from themselves. You are present. You listen. You smile. But internally, you hold a sacred space for yourself. You do not allow the chaotic energy of the play to penetrate your awareness. Be like water. Water doesn't argue with a rock. It silently wears it down or simply flows around it. When someone throws a meaningless argument at you, you don't have to catch it. You can just let it flow past. This is ultimate discernment. You must decide where your energy is worthy. Is it worthy of a social media fight? Or is it worthy of sitting in silence and watching the sunset? You are tired because you are giving your energy away too cheaply. Second, learn to honor the sacred no. Your exhaustion comes from saying yes to things that your entire being is screaming no to. Saying yes to the party you don't want to attend. Saying yes to the meaningless conversation that drains you. Saying yes to the roles society wants you to play. Every time you say no to pretense, you are saying yes to your truth. Every time you decline an invitation into chaos, you are conserving energy for building your wings. This is the most radical act of self-care for an awakening soul. Protect your silence. Protect your sanity. Your cocoon needs to be guarded. Don't let anyone disturb this sacred transformation. Third, and this is key to the loneliness, seek the others. Your loneliness is real, but it is also an illusion. You are not alone. You are just looking for friends in the wrong places. You are looking for connection in the caterpillar world while you are on your way to becoming a butterfly. Your tribe is out there. They are also tired. They are also lonely. They are also in their own cocoons. They are not at the loud bars or the corporate meetings. They are in quiet bookstores. They are in art studios. They are walking alone in nature. They are writing in a secluded cafe. They are meditating. Your job is not to change the crowd, but to find the individuals. How? By emitting your frequency quietly and authentically. Stop pretending to be a caterpillar. Be yourself, in your silence, in your awareness. Write, create, speak your truth gently when asked, and those who are on your frequency will hear you. A butterfly recognizes another butterfly. It is a recognition of the soul. A few deep, authentic connections with other seers will nourish you more than 1,000 superficial relationships. Conclusion. So, O awakened soul, if you are tired and lonely, understand that this is not a curse. It is an honor. It is a sign that you are no longer content with the surface. You are craving the depths. You are a light bearer in a world still submerged in the shadow of unconsciousness. Your fatigue is the weariness of the watchman who has stayed awake all night while the town sleeps. Your loneliness is the solitude of the explorer who has ventured beyond the known maps. Don't try to drag the sleeping out of their dreams. It only frightens them and exhausts you. Instead, master your own awakening. Be the lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't run around the island trying to save ships. It doesn't scream warnings. It simply stands still, rooted in the rock, and shines. Tend to your cocoon. Protect your energy and trust the transformation. The world doesn't need you to participate in its madness. The world needs you to hold your sanity. The world needs you after this process is complete to emerge with your wings. If these reflections resonate with the quiet space within you, leave a like so I know we share a frequency, and subscribe to continue this journey into consciousness together. Hold your light steady.